Oh, God damn it. All right. There we go.
Are we on?
Yep.
All right. Well, welcome everyone to the pregame show for the 137th live edition of Bombs and Bants. I am John, and the missus and I are getting everything ready to go. Nice kind of mellow night. You feeling mellow tonight?
I'm feeling sleepy tonight.
But not necessarily mellow.
I guess they're very similar. I had to go out in the hot weather today and stand in the sun for like 45 minutes.
Sounds like
I am made to be in air conditioning.
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
I was ready to go sit in a swimming pool and take a long nap.
Yeah, that's always reasonable.
Yeah, after that. And then I had to go do it again, so.
Yeah, take a nap.
No, be out in the hot weather.
That doesn't sound like fun.
Yeah. It was not. Then I did come home and take a long nap, which is why I'm groggy now. I've been up for an hour and I still am not quite awake, so. Enough about me and my nap time proclivities.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. Is Mark joining us tonight?
I believe so.
Okay.
He was unavailable last week, and but I believe we will see him skittering in at about the usual time.
Is he trying to get picked as Kamala's vice president? That's what he's doing, isn't it?
Not supposed to tell people that. Anyway, oh heck, I haven't even gone online. Which, well, no, I mean we went onto onto our podcast because it says we're live and there might be people.
Well, I can see the people.
Well, I can't.
Jim's
So
in the house. Catherine's in the
Jim
house.
and Catherine?
Yeah.
I can't see them, so therefore they don't exist.
Wow, we got a new sample of Mark. Or is that virtual Mark? We created a virtual model of you using ChatGPT. And he just kept murmuring something about don't like wheel guns, don't like wheel guns, don't like wheel guns.
See, that was the problem, is that we only gave it one sample of Mark's voice. And so, like Samuel L. Jackbot, it only said the one thing over and over again.
I like turtles.
I like turtles.
It said I don't like wheel guns.
Yes.
And AI is so stupid.
Catherine says very existential, Mark. Yeah, it's going to be a real shit show. Oh, wait, now I cussed. What will the algorithm ever do to me? That's that is the first time literally I've ever cussed on the show. It's not technically on our show because it hasn't started yet, so.
That's true. It's just pregame.
We're just limbering up. Oh, and there's Quizzer.
I don't think it's time to start yet.
It is not.
Oh, no. The official clock now says there's 60 seconds.
Yes. Almost time for the big show.
But this clock says the actual clock is 2 seconds ahead.
Could be you're caught in a time loop.
That's possible. Let's hope it doesn't include that 45 minutes I had to stand outside in the sunshine today. Unacceptable.
Yeah, there was a YouTuber that I listened to. It's the guy who looks like Adam Savage's grandpa, and he was saying that he was surrounded in Afghanistan with some guys, and they called in that they were surrounded, and apparently time stopped. And so he says that we've got some really good weapons. I don't know that I believe him, but you know. Oh, it's 8:00.
Oh no, we have movie sign.
Bants and Bants.
One of these days, I'll see if I can get around to fixing that.
And Bants.
All systems go.
Bants and Bants.
Not today.
Bants and Bants.
This rebel has a cause. Bonds and Bants.
We begin as wanderers, and we are wanderers still.
Welcome, everyone, to the 137th live edition of Bombs and Bants and Wednesday Rants. As always, I'm your dedicated, humble, and today, right now, at least for the next 5 minutes, sober host John Wilder, coming to you from the penthouse control room of the majestic Wilder Industries skyscraper. With me, as always, is Mark.
Hey, everyone.
And Mrs.
I think if I had any alcohol tonight, I would immediately fall asleep. That's a strong possibility.
Yep. So remember to like and subscribe if you are not. And Codex just joined us, so welcome. And so I do have a big announcement. Biden has selected his VP, and it's
Is it Spiro Agnew?
Anyway, all right. How's the week treated everyone? Mark, how was your week? How was your 2 weeks?
2 weeks, that's right. It was okay. I mean, the air quality is okay today, but for most of the past 2 weeks, we've had really thick smoke from some range fires in this area. So, like for instance, last Wednesday, I was traveling, which is of course why I wasn't here for the podcast. But driving into town, I don't think that on that particular day it was really, really bad. I don't think we had even a mile and a half visibility.
Well, around here we call them stove fires, not range fires, and it only happens when Pugsley's trying to cook something that he's not cooked before.
Generally, that is the case.
This how are you doing other than just having to spend hours outside in million-degree temperatures?
That seems to be the long and short of it.
Yeah. Mark, did it cool down for you at all?
It has cooled down the last couple days, but before that, we'd had, gosh, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks at least, where I think it was either in the hundreds or it might have cooled down to like 99 or 98 for the daytime highs. So
yeah, but it's a dry heat. Catherine says Mark is smoking, and I was going, Orle, you have some ganja? Okay, well, we'll skip that. And just I'll start with this thought. Why is it the leftists want to ban tobacco but make marijuana legal? Let's go down that street that we call conversation.
And now it's
Every
time for us to take down the smooth sidewalks of Conversation Street.
All right, to start you off, I've got two little paths down Conversation Street this week. Kamala Ian. She comes and goes. Obama endorsed up, zipped up, and now she's on the campaign trail. The party has coalesced around Kamala and started supporting her, and she has gained tens of millions of dollars in donations, of course, according to her. Last meeting, White Dudes for Harris was filled with the lowest testosterone group I've ever seen, and it looked like many of them would compete with the girls at the gym for the 5-pound barbells. Another data point, at another Kamala event, her playing to a few thousand people in a half-full venue with Megan Thee Stallion, whatever that is. And James O'Keefe sent an undercover operative who dated a he-him compliance manager with the Harris campaign who said about Kamala winning that, and I quote, "It's kind of like cognitive dissonance, just imagining something that truly isn't," when referring to Kamala being electable. So as I asked last week, do you think with donations like that she can stop stop doing her OnlyFans account?
gosh, I can't even imagine her having an OnlyFans account that would, let alone one that would make money.
Is she
Yeah.
is she electable?
Gosh, thanks for the thought. Now I want to
You can't stop picturing it, can you?
excise. I want to excise my brain
brain bleach, stat.
Oh my gosh.
Well, did you see the Babylon
Yeah,
Bees take on it?
Well, tell us.
That black men patiently waiting for white women to tell them who to vote for. Because it wasn't just the white dudes for Kamala; it was the white women for Kamala too.
And this isn't this is still about Kamala, although it does involve Trump as well, because Trump's our next little side street here.
Okay.
So apparently today, when Trump was talking to the National Black Journalists Association, they asked about Kamala being black. He says, "Is she really? She was Indian, and now she's black. And if you go through her heritage, she's probably 50% Indian, and she's probably about 12% African black and about 38% Scottish slave owner." So, Mark, what's your take on all that?
She's descended from slave owners. That's all we need to know.
The missus?
Well, that seems to be the only thing that matters about anyone, right?
She needs to be canceled.
Yeah. It's the only thing that matters about Thomas Jefferson, isn't it?
It is. In fact, because she's descended from a slave owner, undoubtedly, if she gets elected, she'll immediately turn to enslaving blacks.
Yeah, probably so.
Well, actually, she did that. In California,
She did
actually
do that in California.
she kept many black men in prison because they needed them for prison labor.
By refusing to provide exculpatory evidence so they could get out of jail.
Yeah. Ah, yes. So is she electable? That was the question out there. Is she, Mark?
It doesn't matter. All that matters is who counts the votes. That's going to be the Democrats. It's going to be 2020. I mean, Biden all over again. Biden wasn't electable.
I agree with Mark.
All right. Well, let's take our second little detour down the street. Trump Watch. Fake passages from J.D. Vance's book have been showing up online, and some Democrats seriously think that he had sex with a couch and fantasizes about dolphins sexually. Why is that always their go-to? Just wondering, why is that always their go-to?
Did you see the opening ceremony of the Olympics? It's all they think about is debauched and weird sex.
Well, we'll get to that in a little bit.
I'm sure we will.
Yep. The new watchword that suddenly appeared on Democrat lips all in one day is weird. Everything became weird in one day. Scott Adams, master predictor, said that this is a mean girl put down, and that the person leading the persuasion attempt to call Trump weird is a chick. So jump on in.
I mean, it's like the Democrats have lost every argument, so they're going to go with the 7th grade middle school girl argument, the cool girl clique. That's just weird. Don't you think that's weird? I think that's weird.
Yeah,
Don't let them sit at the table with us. That's weird.
I think the leftist obsession with LGBTQ crap and everything like that's weird. I mean, they're the freaks.
Oh, so again, even thinking about J.D. Vance would fantasize about dolphins. I mean, literally, this is what they believe, or would have sex with a couch. I mean, an ottoman I can understand, but a couch.
Look at the type of science fiction that these woke leftists produce. They're the reason there's a whole genre that's sex with dinosaurs.
Well, keep in mind that there was a book called Bear, and it was about a woman having sex with a bear, and it was a Canadian national bestseller, and also won their highest literary award. So, sometimes an entire country can go down the tube.
Yeah, no, the leftists are weird.
Well, it's the same people that make those decisions on the book awards, man. I mean, deviant sex is in. It's the cool thing. And, not to go back 25 years to Love Lines, but they used to talk about that too, When you start experiencing deviant sex when you're 15 or 16 years old, the only thing to do is to go more deviant. And not to get off on another cultural crusade there, but there we are.
Oh, in fact, we're often talking about our Hugo loss to Chuck Tingle.
Yeah.
Space Raptors up my butt.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, do we have an outro from Conversation Street? Because I think we're Conversation Streeted.
Oh, are we done? No, we don't have an outro. I can play the
Okay.
intro again.
No, we can just
Would
say
that
we're done.
make you happy?
No, we're done.
It'd be deviant.
All right. So the missus informs me that because of heat and not having a snork so that she can breathe at night.
I know. I'm still waiting on my stupid doctor.
Yeah. She's like a greedy heroin addict waiting for her safe app. That brings us to 2 minutes of guns in just 1 minute.
Are you ready, Mark?
Not really, but let's go ahead.
In 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so one of the things I've seen recently are a couple articles and a couple videos that have popped up on my YouTube feed on concealed carry positions. And the
15 seconds.
sort of the four main ones that they try that seem to come up over and over, although I'm not sure why. But there's the appendix. Okay, I understand that. That's popular. A waist carry
30 seconds.
inside the waistband, outside the waistband on waist or whatever. I can see that. And then for some reason, I keep on seeing small of the back thrown in there, which is probably one of the worst ways to carry a gun. And I'm not sure what their obsession is about bringing it up.
45
I don't know.
seconds.
Maybe it's popular and I don't know about it, but there it is. And yet you will never hear them talk about things like shoulder holsters, carrying on cross carry, draw carry,
1, stop.
or
Excellently done, Mark. I've got to say,
Well
for
done.
extemporaneous, that's just
Well done, Mark.
10 out of 10, man. 10 out of 10.
I have to say, maybe a worse place to carry a gun than the small of the back would be, and you guys would be unfamiliar with this, but the ladies know, in the pantyhose, when you put on the pantyhose, right in the crotch of the pantyhose, because it's done around your knees, regardless of what you do.
I was going to make a Running Man joke, but I won't. All right. Maria Conchita Alonso, where she would carry. Okay. Do we have an outro on that? We don't. That was the outro.
That was yes.
Yeah, that was it. It was all that thing. It was self-contained. It was perfect in every way. All right. That brings us to, we don't have Jackass of the Week. Like I said, the missus was very busy. So that brings us up to Think Real Fast.
it doesn't. Who cares? It's going to be small anyway.
Think real fast.
Yeah, this week has been so weird. I was just sitting here before the podcast tonight trying to think, has Kamala only been running for president for a week? Yes, it's only been a week.
Yes. So much time compression.
And 2 weeks ago was the Trump thing. What the hell is going on? Where's Gavin Newsom? Where's Gavin Newsom when we need him? Gavin, get in here.
What the hell is going on?
Thank you.
But at
He's
least
too busy trying to distract
Elon, back
California.
that up. I would if I could find Elon. There he is.
Things are getting weird, and they're getting weird fast.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but Mark, you never mentioned that Hillary Clinton could carry her gun in her cankles. That would be a good place.
She has a special cankle holster.
You know what? You gave me a bad image earlier. I'm going to give you one. Hillary
God.
Clinton flashbang holster.
Oh,
I'm
you
just gonna
can't.
say I don't know what that is, and I don't think I want to know what that is.
You can't get me because I've been to Pole. There's nothing. There's no eye bleach after you've gone to Pole. It's like
That's true.
It's like
That's true.
you become immune to it. It's like, okay, that's literally nothing. Okay,
And there's
So
no
let's-
way.
Whatever,
out.
you just imagine it, her having to reach down to her waist or knees maybe to pull up her blouse to get to her weapon.
Yeah, but
from the
just imagine
flashbang
her
holster.
carrying it in her pantyhose. I mean, she's not wearing underpants with those things.
well, but
You're welcome.
I was just thinking with the Cooper's droop, maybe she could sling other things in her pantyhose too. I'm good. All right. In Armageddon,
now you're thinking about Michelle Obama. Stop that.
no, she's far more buff than that. All right. In Armageddon
Wasn't
Watch,
what I was talking about. Her slinging her pantyhose.
in Armageddon Watch, so you're saying she carries two guns.
Yeah.
In Armageddon Watch, Supreme
Well,
Leader
one's
of
her
Iran.
weapon, the other's her gun.
Supreme Leader of Iran. Hey, don't let the show get in the way of the show. The Supreme Leader of Iran, Ali Khamenei, has ordered a direct strike against Israel for assassinating a Hamas dude in Tehran. Give me a breaking news.
Oh, sorry. I was sitting here wool gathering.
Breaking news.
Iran has listed a notice to airmen shutting down every single airfield in all of Iran. So, Mark, do you think they'll just send up another volley of Nerf missiles like they did last time?
Probably. I don't know what else they have. I mean, I don't. Supposedly they have hypersonic ones. I don't know.
I think that they've got these things that run literally, some of them in some cases off of like lawnmower engines. And I mean, which is great if you're fighting, Ukrainians, but we give the Israelis all our best stuff. So I mean, I knock that out of the sky. Misses.
I was just wondering, if since the Israelis just helped that Hezbollah guy achieve room temperature, when Congress, the Democrats in Congress are going to take a knee in the foyer of the Capitol in his honor, have a moment of silence for him?
Well, that's not your question. You can keep that opinion for later.
That was my question.
I asked the question.
No, I don't think so.
You can't handle this chair.
So.
All right, the missus.
Why you bullying me?
She may
have
not sit in this chair, but she has the soundboard. Yes. The missus. Doesn't the name Tehran sound silly?
Yeah, it does.
What song could you even make about that? And Tehran,
Tehran, run, Tehran, run.
No, that's the Tete brothers, but that's another story. All right, the Olympic opening ceremony was widely praised by Christians who actually worship Satan. Mark, was Christ homophobic for not being a fat lesbian in a Smurf blue leotard?
No, he was being smart.
The missus. When did the Olympics die for you, and why was it when they let pro athletes in?
No, that was exactly when it happened. When they had the first dream team, and decided not to let college basketball players play. I mean,
Mark, your thoughts?
I agree. That was an inflection point on the Olympics when they decided that the U.S. decided that it was more important for the U.S. to win basketball than to have it be amateur sports.
Yeah, in fairness, the Soviets were never amateur sports. I mean, we do not get paid for it. Well, yeah, we know, but it's your full-time job,
that's
right?
That's why the Miracle on Ice was the Miracle on Ice.
Exactly. It was a real thing, and it was fantastic. It was fantastic.
And I'm coming to feel that way about college sports too, because now we're paying them. I saw something the other day that some college kid. We have to talk about who's in the transfer portal now, because they're free agents. Yep. And colleges can offer them money to come play for them, and they get a free education if they'll take it. I mean, many of them are not bright enough to do that, but some of them are. Not the ones that are going to pay $100,000 to come play on their football team, but still. And if you have a kid at a top tier Division I university, you're paying that big athletic fee too. We need to completely divest sports from colleges and universities,
except for non-paid sports. and we got to limit,
because then we'll be right back where we are. Because that was the ruling that if you're going to make money from them, you have to pay them.
No, make it so that they're not televised and the admission's free.
Then they're just intramurals.
Yes,
which is fine.
Yes, exactly that.
But you know what? That stuff is floating down in high school, too.
Oh, good.
No, it's not good.
Well, no, that means we could get a thriving, like steroids. Yes, those things. We could learn how to make steroids in our basement.
Well, yeah. I mean, steroids in high school athletics have been a thing for a long time.
Okay, I've let this go on far too long. You people are incorrigible. Senator Little Marco Rubio has just released a big complaint. It turns out that Russia and China and Iran are proving they don't need to use Western payment systems and are avoiding using their Visa and MasterCard and are instead just trading with each other. And he has some sort of law planned to stop that. Mark, how are they going to enforce the uber secret sanctions if the regular sanctions don't work?
They'll just use more sanctions. That's her logic.
Well, the missus, then should we use sanctions against the bypassing of the sanctions which have been sanctioned?
No, I think we just need to have make them take more creative ways. Like maybe when they bypass the sanctions, they have to hop on one foot while gluing a dildo to their forehead. I think that would at least be entertaining for us.
You know, here's one way. I mean, you could punish them by sending them round up illegal aliens and ship them over to them for as a punishment for avoiding their sanctions.
Hey, we could pay college athletes to do that. That's a win-win-win.
There you go.
That's true. They're pretty quick. They might be able to run down some of those illegals.
Hey, now don't you make stereotypes. In South American news, El Presidente Maduro has been elected by a slim majority, according to their voting commission, which was appointed and headed by El Presidente Maduro. Mark, is El Presidente Maduro winning? Because I have been told by Google that every election is fair, and they'll ban our YouTube channel if we don't reinforce the obvious truth that every election ever has been free and fair.
You know, it's obvious that the election down there was free and fair because they used the very same voting machines as were used in the 2020 election here in the United States.
And I'll
so
note
there couldn't have been any cheating involved. That was completely fair.
And I'll note that to show that it was entirely free and fair, the graph of the voting versus time, the totals versus time, had the same sorts of shape and jumps as the Trump loss in Georgia. Exact same, which makes sense.
And that just proves how free and fair it was.
It proves how free and fair.
Hey, as I'm sitting here, I just realized that you forged boldly into the podcast, and we did not even talk about the funnies at all.
We didn't. So let's finish this. You
Okay.
can't get away from your question.
It just occurred to me.
Okay. All right.
I told you I'm all over I'm very scattered tonight.
Hey, tell you what. Let's use those as an ender for our podcast tonight and see how that works.
Okay.
Let's try on some new shoes.
And also Pugsley has not fed the cat, so the cat is here sinking her claws into my leg, telling me that there is no food in her bowl.
All right, the missus.
Yes.
And I will note, Catherine says never give up your guns. So anyway,
That's right.
The missus, should El Presidente Maduro stage a coup? A coup. Yes, I'm reading, okay? And I'm not going to put coup because then I'd go, what? The missus, should
But
El
what will
Presidente
happen to the corpsmen in the military?
With their swords.
Yes, with their swords.
The missus, should El Presidente Maduro stage a coup against himself and narrowly take power so that Maduro gets reelected, but the opposition gets a coup and Maduro keeps power in a win-win-win situation?
Yes. Next.
Okay. The rat is back in the hat in New York. In this case, New York City has requested a $1.6 million study from McKinsey & Company to understand how they're losing the war. The result of the McKinsey study? New Yorkers, even down to 6 years old, can volunteer to become Rat Pack members and get custom T-shirts and baseball caps. Yes, this is true.
Are there any actual touching
No,
rats involved?
I asked the question. You can ask the question later. Mark, why don't they just
I can just turn your mic off,
Why don't they just
you?
Why don't they just give the rats shirts?
because they'd have to special order them. They'd have to be so small.
It's like a Chinese large though for a rat, though, right?
I don't know. I don't
That's
know
how
how
you
big the
fit so
rats
many
are over
people
there.
in China because you can fit 16 million of them in like a boxcar. Let's not talk about people in boxcars. Next, the missus with,
Well, I would
with
just say, okay, so that rats wearing t-shirts, that's a normal thing. And this is kind of a long story to back this up, but okay. At my normal paying job, we have a stuffed rat and a stuffed frog that sit on a shelf. And the rat is wearing a t-shirt. The frog has recently gained a top hat. And someone was in the room the other day and said, "Why does the frog not have a t-shirt?" And everyone said, "Frogs don't wear t-shirts." Everyone knows that, right?
so you're saying you
And
have
no, the reason is because and rats don't wear hats, and the reason is that if a rat was wearing a hat, when it scurried down its little tunnel, its hat would be knocked off, so it would be forever losing its hat. Frogs don't wear t-shirts because if a frog had a t-shirt on and got it wet, it would drown.
but
This is basic logic, people. Come
well,
on.
no, you got to help me with this one then.
Okay.
How come Kamala was seen sitting on 2 graham crackers with chocolate and marshmallow between them?
I don't understand
Because
what
she
she's.
likes the feeling.
No,
Let's all be
You-
honest. Sitting on a marshmallow would be kind of
elf
nice,
elf
and you
on
could
a
eat it if you
shelf.
got hungry.
Elf on a shelf. Kamala sitting on 2 graham crackers with chocolate and
Oh, okay.
marshmallow. That would make her a.
You left the elf on a shelf part out of that.
I figured you were smarter than that.
I
But
was
I
not
guess
seeing
I
where
was.
you were going. I was
All
like,
right,
I don't get what part of the s'more she is.
Well, she's not part of the s'more, but it
Yeah,
rhymes
I
with
gotcha.
s'more.
I gotcha.
Okay. The missus, with all the cat ladies in New York City, don't you think they should have the rat problems covered?
One would think.
No, the cats are just as wussified as the feminists would want to make men. So, but you know what might work is leave out little cups of highly carbonated sodas, and then the little rats would lap it up, and of course with all that carbonation, and since they can't expel the gas, they would explode.
Hmm.
I was going to suggest giving vodka to cats, but exploding rats are even better.
Yeah,
Well,
or if you want a more dramatic
Kamal
effect, you
on a
could
shingle.
maybe try to get them to eat little bits of Alka-Seltzer.
or you could take helicopters and stream testosterone down around New York City so they could grow a pair and just take care of this damn problem. All right, moving next.
Actually, if they really wanted to, they could just give a reward. Every dead rat you turn in, we'll give you $5.
Well, speaking of Deadpool is back and has made millions more than the last few Marvel movies combined, and that's just this first weekend. They did it by this crazy idea of entertaining people and avoiding and even mocking the woke agenda. Mark, is this a sign that Disney should avoid this and just make more movies about transvestites?
I think so. What lesson are they going to draw from this? Oh no, we had evil white people show up to watch this movie. So obviously it's terrible and they need to reverse course immediately.
The missus, since this movie starred 2 white straight men, will they have to have movies that feature only transsexual gay women of color in wheelchairs for the rest of the decade?
Don't they already have that?
Well, yeah.
Okay. So that's covered then.
Taco Bell is now planning on rolling out AI ordering at their drive-thrus. True story. Taco Bell planning on rolling out AI ordering at the drive-thrus.
Wait,
Mark,
you mean the people in the Taco Bell drive-thru are real?
Mark, is this because kids who smoke weed cost too much?
No, they eat too much.
No, in our town, the kids who smoke weed all work at Sonic.
Well, now, the missus, do you think that this will make Taco Bell even slower?
They've improved recently. They've been better, and it's been quite a while, knock on wood, since they screwed up my order. Here in town, in the town in Mount Pilot, do not go to Taco Bell in Mount Pilot.
Yep. All right.
I think that's actually something you could just safely say nationwide, don't go to Taco Bell. Or Taco, yeah, Taco Bell.
If we
Just
had a Taco
don't.
John's, this would all be better, but we don't. All we have is Taco Bell. Our options are limited. There is a Taco Mayo not far away.
That
And I
like...
think, do we know Taco Tico went out of business, didn't they? And then there's the mysterious Taco Hut, which never appears to be open, and I think they just sell meth, but I can't prove that, so, don't sue me.
money laundering.
Well, and then
Whatever it is, it ain't making tacos.
I think they're actually worse than Taco Bell. That there's Del Taco.
So I've never had Del Taco, so I don't know if it's any good or not. That's a West Coast thing.
You should thank heavens that you've never had Del Taco.
Anyone else want to chime in on Mexican fast food restaurants? Since Wilder has lost control again.
Oh, yep, speaking of Bud Light, Bud Light is still dead to rights, only reaching half the market it had before it featured trans people in commercials, and it cost billions in sales and billions in market capitalization, at least 120 billion in market cap. Mark, as a non-drinker, how does this affect you?
It makes me giggle.
Well, you can say more. This is the last one.
Okay, it makes me giggle a lot, and I think it's proof of the superiority of an Ivy League business school education.
Well, that's actually the Mrs. question. The Mrs., do you think the former marketing VP regrets thinking that, and I quote, Bud Light had a Friday kind of out-of-touch humor?
No, I don't think that person regrets that at all, because they're always convinced they're right, and they're absolutely right. And not only are they right, they're altruistic and good and positive and the best humanity has to offer. So don't you ever question a decision they've made.
She probably has a better job now.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest.
Probably working for Disney.
Or Kamala.
Or the Secret Service.
Let's not talk about them, because they're obviously, just like the vaccine, safe and effective.
And everyone knows it.
All right.
Can we make the new Mark sound? It makes me giggle a lot. I'll have to work on that.
All right. And I will note that when I told Mark that he was replaced by virtual Mark on his blog this week, he was a little concerned about what happened. But you were consistent in your answers. So anyway, that is Thanks Real Fast.
Oh, hang on. I have to find it.
That's
I was marking in the podcast where it makes me giggle
Think
a
real
lot
fast.
so that I can pull it
Okay.
out of the podcast.
Okay. Well, all right. You said you had stuff, so bring it up.
I do. Here's our first funny. Okay, hear me out. An old-fashioned candy necklace, but with Tums and ibuprofen. Huh?
Mm. No.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. I am big in that one so everyone can see it. And number 3.
Now, is the parking in the front or the rear? That's fascinating.
And number 4. Did you read my paper on confirmation bias? Yes, but it only proved what I already knew. And the last one, and I can embiggen this one too if you want me to.
You're going to have to.
Okay.
What's it say?
It's
Sorry, I can't.
It's a Paw Patrol playset, and it says Paw Concentration Camp.
Sweet.
Well, we already mentioned the boxcar, so I guess you're the winner if you get on the last boxcar, right? I was the last one to make it.
And if you get the little Paw Patrol critter, that's the fireman, because he's the cutest.
It makes me wonder if we should send kids with hyper or attention deficit disorder to concentration camps so they can learn to concentrate.
That's right. They can learn to concentrate that way.
There you go.
Well, I've heard from Democrats, because of Project 2025, that's already what's going to happen. So
All right, so I'm going to ask our studio audience, do you want to see the funnies at the beginning of the episode or at the end of the episode? Which would, because the next thing we're going to do is leave. So would you prefer that at the beginning or the end? A warm up or a cool down? Go.
Here, we'll even have some music in the background. It's so loud. It's like that scene in Airplane 2.
Yeah.
They're all getting off the elevator and the elevator music is blaring. My ears.
Codex says middle, Catherine says yes, and Clither said both.
You're so helpful, guys.
Oh, it just don't matter.
Oh, congratulations. You've all been amazingly helpful.
Well, we now know exactly how long Think Real Fast lasts. Think Real Fast lasts 5 minutes because that's about how long it would be if it was show we're going to end 5 minutes from now because that's how long it lasts. So never mind. Mark, do you have any parting thoughts on this wonderful Wednesday night?
Yeah, I do. I
like turtles.
Well, anyway.
That's good. I like that, Mark. The missus, do you have any final thoughts?
I like turtles.
Well, on that note, I'd like to thank everyone for coming to Bombs and Bants and Wednesday Rants. I had a great show. I thought this was fun, and I hope you guys did too. We'll be back next week with more nonsense and maybe that game show of what was Kamala talking about. I'm John.
This is Mark.
Oh, it just stopped for no reason. That's not helpful when it just stops for no reason, because then I can't hit the post.
It was in the middle of a yawn.
I was in the middle of a yawn, that's for sure. Oh, y'all come back now, you hear?
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my friggin' life.